Itching already, y'all. So this is one of my questions. Whatever happened to the black man who was a poet? What happened to the black man that used to be a poet? Under the boardwalk. Um, if something is wrong with my baby, then something is wrong with me. Kiss and say goodbye. Ain't that peculiar? Sugar pie, honey bunch. What happened to the black man who was a poet? What's all this perversion and killing and stuff? The black men of old, they used to be poets. They didn't used to be murderers. They didn't used to be rapists. They didn't used to be smashing and grabbing. They didn't used to do that. See, the last 40 years, um, what we've been saturated with is black men in music calling black women bees and hoes and saying slaughter everybody, slaughter the cops, slaughter your family, slaughter everybody. That's what we've been saturated with the last 40 years. No, what happened to sugar pie honey bunch, okay? Uh I've had this frustration since I've been about 16. Why do black men act so stupid? Why do they frustrated me at 16 years old. They still frustrate me. But look, at the age I am now, I just accept it. But look, at 16, I was very frustrated. Why do they act so stupid? Um, you know, uh, what black men do if they are stupid and dumb, they would get another group of black men who are stupid and dumb. They just hang around each other. So now you got a cluster of black men, all of whom act stupid and dumb. Okay, so they just hang around it. Now, black men are followers. Period. They just are. If they see ABC smashing and grabbing, they go smash and grab without even being asked. If they see ABC uh, kick a girl, they go kick two or three girls. Black men are followers without a doubt. No thinking skills. Black men just don't have thinking skills. They just do not. Um, Now look, my generation is horrible, but the previous generation wasn't much better. My mother married an awful person. She married a very awful person. Okay. And then her mother, I didn't hear her bragging about the men. And then my mother's grandmother, I didn't hear her bragging about the men. So obviously, this is a generational thing. I think you have to go all the way back to slavery. The black man saw the white man beating up black men with a whip, beating up women, beating up children with a whip. So that's what he did to his wife and children. So thus began a generational curse of the way black men treat their wives and children. Then that passed down to the mother. The mother too trifling and lazy to raise her son, so she turned him over to the streets. Okay. See, black men are imitators. They are imitators. They definitely are imitators of behavior. If they hear through the grapevine that a bunch of black men smash and grab, they're gonna get a group that's gonna smash and grab. And if you look at the smashing and grab, what are they taking out? They're taking out candy. $10 worth of candy, which even I could have afforded to give them $10 worth of candy. They just taking out candy. And when they go to the jewelry store, all they smashing and grabbing, all they taking out is crystal glass, worthless pieces of glass. Um, See, black men see, the Bible says, see and hear. Lot saw and heard what they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah. See, the black man sees and hears what the white man doing to blacks. They do that to their families. They do that to the black woman. They do that to the children. They see and hear, and plus they are followers. They have no independent thinking skills. I very seldom have seen a black man with any independent thinking skills to say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But for example, let's just take like home improvement. If I say that we need another deck because the old one is worn out, he's gonna say to himself, well, wait a minute, my father did not build a deck, so I'm not going to build a deck. So guess what? The deck never gets done because they're followers, no independent thinking skills. They don't say to themselves, well, yeah, she's right, I do need a deck. They're going to say to themselves, well, my father didn't build a deck. My grandfather didn't build a deck. Why? Because they had ramshackle homes for one thing. But look, they're going to say, my father didn't build a deck. My grandfather didn't build a deck. So I'm not going to build a deck. So the deck never gets built. Black men don't have any independent thinking skills. They don't think, well, maybe I should build a deck. They have no independent thinking skills. They only follow what they have seen in the past that their father and grandfather did, or they follow what their peers do. Okay. Um, the Bible says, "Don't imitate the oppressor and choose none of his ways." See, black men always, not only do they imitate the white man, but they choose his ways. If a white man's in perversions, they get into perversions. If a white man eat pork chops, they're gonna eat pork chops. If a white man eats ham, they're gonna eat ham, even though it's not a healthy food. Okay, like in my college years, look, all I met was trash. That's all I met. Like I said, a whole nother level of frustration. Because really, if you in college, you got to put your trash behind you. But look, all I met was trash. Okay. Um, but like I said, if you go back to what 3 generations, my great grandmother didn't. She wouldn't brag about anything she met either. So there's a problem there. I mean, all black men do is killing each other. Like this young man that was shot recently 9 times or 12 times. I was sitting in the car. Probably a drug deal because the black man doesn't understand that he does not control the wholesale drug market. The Mexicans do, so they kill each other because one or other wants to control the wholesale drug market. They don't understand. They don't. Mexicans control it. Bye. So for the last 40 years, we have been saturated with harsh music. No Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. No, I heard it through the grapevine. No Love and Happiness. None of that. It's just all harsh music, calling black women bees, hoes, kill everybody, slaughter everybody. Okay, that's how we've been saturated the last 40 years. And then the black women imitate the black men. The black men are not raising their sons. The black women. So the black women don't raise their son. Okay, and when the black man's in the street fights, he does this, does that. So now black women get into street fights. They start pulling her and acting the fool. If the black man get into a street fight, then the black woman wants to get into a street fight. It just goes on and on and on and on. But look, I want to know what happened to the black man who was a poet. What happened to Sugar Pie Honey Bunch? What happened to, I heard it through the grapevine. What happened to Kiss and Say Goodbye? What happened to, if something is wrong with my baby, then something's wrong with me? What happened to the black man who was a poet? Bye.